No, no. Plot armor's when like you need your main character to like. It's
It's
the
when
reason
you
that
need your main
Ross never
character to
gets.
survive, because otherwise it doesn't work.
It's the reason that Ross never gets hit by a taxi in New York City. It just doesn't make sense. But this is like he is literally chosen by God. That's part of the narrative that God Himself has brought this guy back to life because he is essential to winning the war. He's part of like a prophecy. The fire and ice thing like
I feel like that's
it's
the
not.
plot armor.
But that is the definition of plot armor, right? Like God has chosen
Mhm.
you, the God in this case being the fucking author of the work, right? And like
Oh,
obviously, if he wrote a character in that is an actual God that actually exists that wants this character to win, it still doesn't matter. It's that God has to stand in for the creator of the series, right?
well, it's the Lord of Light, right? Like whatever that guy is. Like that's the god that Melisandre
G.R.R. Martin,
utilizes
Lord of Light.
to bring him back. Oh, he's the Lord of fucking pork. He's not the Lord of Light.
Yeah, I just if you watch
He's
Battle
the
of Bastards
Burger King.
again after I've told you, like, look at how indestructible this guy is, and you'll see like volleys of hundreds of arrows miss him, people coming at him and then just like getting knocked off. It just one death after another, like virtual guillotines in the form of a guy with a sword and a horse just stopping before they get there. It's just one thing after another that doesn't happen to him. And I don't know, I really look at
there's to me a lot of that, like I know exactly what you're talking about with the horse taking the guy out. I thought that was more to show the chaotic nature of that kind of combat. I loved that. And while sure he does survive and everything, Jesus, you thought he wasn't like half a dozen times when he's being crushed by the. Yes, everybody did. Everybody thought he was going to die when that mass of people was crushing him, and he's like looking up at the sky, and it mirrors that shot from earlier in the series where the Khaleesi's being raised up by all those people around her. You thought he was going to die, like he was. And it was such an unceremonious death, him being like suffocated by the crushing masses, and then Deus Ex Machina fucking ginger pussy to the rescue. She went off and got the Knights of the Vale to come save the day. I love this show, man. I'm glad they got such a big budget to make crazy things like that happen.
And prediction wise, this is what I'm hoping for.
Mhm.
I'm hoping Jon Snow obviously doesn't win. I think that would be the most redeeming. I know fans are going to riot, but if Jon Snow does die and unceremoniously, right?
Yes.
Like the gods brought him back and he is supposed to win and everybody's rooting for it. And then he dies in a very unceremonious way, or even just
I hope he falls into a well.
The guy, right? Let one of the dragons eat the guy during one of the big fucking battles when he turns against Daenerys. And holy fuck, will that be such a good story they're telling? Let somebody we're completely not expecting to win this, right? Like let this come literally out of nowhere. And I know people complain, but I don't care because I believe that is the chaotic nature of the show.
Let the Night King win.
Yeah, fuck it. That's
the most realistic thing. He half-assed killed a dragon with 0 dragons, and now he has a dragon and presumably at least a dozen more of the spears.
I feel like if they kill his dragon, he just raises the dragon again and still has a dragon.
It's like, no fair, that's an unbeatable combo.
I would definitely bet against the Night King winning this thing.
He's not going to win the whole thing, of course.
Yeah, he's not going to win the whole thing.
Agreed.
And neither the Lannisters. And the Khaleesi is not going to turn on Jon. She might briefly, but that's kind of how the show goes. There's going to be some real issues between the Khaleesi and Sansa because they clearly don't like each other. But in the end, Jon Snow's going to win it. Either Jon Snow wins and becomes king, Jon Snow wins and does like the thing he's always done, and he's incredibly selfless, and he lets someone else rule that's worthy, like maybe Tyrion. Like I could totally see Jon Snow making Tyrion the fucking king of this whole thing, and him and the Khaleesi dying, and Tyrion running things, or Jon Snow becomes the king of all by either marrying the Khaleesi or taking over after she potentially dies. But what you won't see is Jon Snow die unceremoniously, and I bet just about anything on that.
Well, no one's predicting it. We're just wishing for it. I think Jon Snow and Dany conflict, and that maybe he defeats her in some way. And I wouldn't be surprised if Tyrion was the king's hand. I don't know. They've made Tyrion dumb for a couple of years now, so...
The way that they've made it, to Kyle's point earlier, more of a people-pleasing action movie makes me pretty confident it's going to end with Tyrion, Jon, and Khaleesi all alive, ruling together in some sort of triad. I
With
don't know.
Ed Sheeran singing by the
presumably
campfire.
Jon being the king, but because Jon is the humblest of those three, he's willing to take advice and be more fair and dole out justice. While you got Tyrion, the smart one, and Khaleesi to have dragons. I guess she's not a good leader, so I don't know what purpose she would serve there.
She's got good advisors, though, right? I'm okay
She
with
has
it. Everybody
terrible
shits on the
advisors.
Khaleesi. No way! Come
What
on,
good advice did she get?
Jorah's excellent. She ignores some of the better advice. To be fair,
Did she?
Fuck your ass, Khaleesi.
I feel like they took Tyrion's advice for a couple years and it just went poorly, and she left Tyrion to lead. And am I saying it right, Tyrion?
Yeah, it's Daenerys that you say wrong. That's the only one that you get wrong.
I've been calling her
Daenerys.
Danny to work around that.
Yeah.
That's a clever little workaround.
Yeah, because there's Tyrion, and then what was his father's name?
Tywin.
Jon Snow. Okay, hold on.
That's what I'm messing up.
And then his father's name was Titus, I think.
Since this ending is getting written by Hollywood,
Mhm.
this is what I think is going to happen. You ready?
Yes.
Jon Snow wins. Nobody has to die. Jon Snow wins, and he decides to make it a socialist democracy.
A national socialist democracy.
Yes.
Right.
Just to fuck with people.
Just to
It's a national socialist democracy. Now, it's pretty similar to what I've been saying for a while. There are changes.
There's
Some of
going
my
to be
Jewish
some
friends
ovens.
are not going
I
to
can't
love
do
this, but trust me. It grows on you.
People are asking, why are you speaking like this all of a sudden? This has been my voice the entire time. And I've hoodwinked you.
Oh, wait.
And now we're all socialists. Yeah. That would be pretty funny.
But yeah, the next big thing on the horizon is, of course, the Lord of the Rings TV show.
Oh wait, before we get into Lord of the Rings, I had one more Game of Thrones, not for this episode related question, because I was thinking about it. Something that people always do with the show is like, man, beginning of the show, I thought Jaime was a scumbag douche.
Right.
Now I think he's great. And I was trying to inverse that and think of a character that I loved in the beginning and I hate now. And I can't think of any. Can you guys think of any that you loved in the beginning and you hate now? And it is hard because so many people have died. And it doesn't even have to be up to this season, like a character that you started out loving and learned to hate. Because I feel like it's the complete opposite in every case for me.
No, I really can't. I'll tell you this. Sansa has gotten... I still don't like Sansa.
That's a good example. She's gotten better.
But she's gone to a 2 to a 6.
She's gone from a 2 to a 6. She's gone from like a 1 to a 4, is what I would say. She was just abominable in those early seasons. Like when all the memes about the lemon cookies, all that. And it didn't have to be. She could have written so much better. It's just that's what they chose to do with her. They didn't know. And I don't know why they wanted to make her annoying. Well,
that part they were following the book because they were following how Sansa was so ignorant, so didn't know what was going on. Like the lemon cookie thing was almost she can be goaded into a very risky, supremely dangerous conversation with lemon cakes because she still doesn't put the pieces together of how really dire her situation is.
It's not exactly what Taylor's going for, but I have a thing that hated, now like King Joffrey. King Joffrey slayed that role. Jack Gleason, maybe, whatever his name is. I literally didn't like the actor that played him. He was so good. And I just see the actor do an interview and I think, you swarmy cunt. I hate you. Right? Yeah. And then the second he died at the Purple Wedding, I was like, oh, bravo. Thank you. What you did, I actually felt things because of your performance. And not that I, like King Joffrey now, you can't. But I didn't, I was, I guess, too caught up in it to understand that they were finessing me, and now I appreciate that they did it so well.
And they got and as he died, I remember thinking man, no way they're going to be able to match that level of visceral, organic evil with any other character. And then fucking
Have
Ramsay
you met Ramsay?
pops up.
Yeah.
And this guy's even worse. Like,
Oh, Ramsey is easily the best villain in anything ever. I would have said before this show Walter White, but now absolutely, like Ramsey was insanely good.
Mhm.
Yeah,
He was.
Yeah, he was very
Kyle,
good.
what
He's
did you
scary.
have?
Oh, a character that
Character-
I started out liking, but now I hate, and it's Bran. And to be fair, Bran is even admits he's like, but I'm not his brother. I'm fucking that Bran is dead. You know, I'm the three-eyed raven tree man now that sees everything and is everything, and I'm as much Bran as I am you, and I'm as much Bran as I am that rock over there. And it's like, why don't you stop speaking in riddles, you magical fuck, and make some things happen?
It's
all
funny
right?
that he's like borderline omniscient, and people are like, "Should we go ask Bran what he thinks about it?" And it's like, no, he's fucking weird. He looks like he's got dead eyes. He looks right through you.
You
I'm
know,
not talking. You go talk to him.
I
Well,
praise Avengers
beats
all the
me out,
time. Oh, sorry, I thought you. I
No,
praise
you're fine.
Avengers all the time for managing to make like Black Widow and Hawkeye useful. You know, even though you've got like Thor over here and Mr. Good Accuracy and above average reflexes over there, they still manage to be useful members of the team. With Bran, they are not riding around his ridiculous powers very well. It's like, we've got a real problem here. This whole thing's based on making good decisions. And yeah, we just don't utilize the omniscient dude.
Well, Bran's definitely get some screen time next episode.
How do you know?
That's definitely.
right.
Well, he's become the most important character in a way.
I thought it was clear.
Yeah, but admittedly, every time he's ever answered anything anyway, it didn't make sense to anybody on the fucking show. It's always a riddle. It's never like, hey, John, kill Daenerys. She's a whore, right? Like if it was that,
We don't kill women for being whores. We celebrate them. What's wrong
Well,
with
you
you,
know what I'm
Boogie?
saying. It's like she's a bad person. I don't mean all whores are bad
It's
people.
good.
Just saying. Some of my best friends are whores.
I've
My
never
mom's a
heard
whore.
that
defense. That's such a funny thing to
I'm never going to slut shame, and I don't suggest anybody out there ever slut shame either. Because here's the thing: it's the sluts that are going to fuck you, dude. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Right? Like you should celebrate whores, celebrate sluts, celebrate people who are willing to have sex because she's the only one that's even remotely likely to fuck you.
Appreciate the promiscuous. You need
Right.
them.
But a lot of people get mad because, well, this whore won't fuck me, and she's also a whore, and that makes me feel bad about myself. But you're just as narcissistic cunts to go fuck yourself, right? Not her, you. You're being narcissistic because you're mad that this prostitute or this cam girl won't fuck you, and that's because you need to take a fucking shower.
You see
No,
that
I
Korean-
disagree.
You see that
I
Korean
think
Twitch
just like
streamer
you
pull her
should be-
titty
you
out
should have to
yesterday?
Wait, she
Wait,
pulled her
what?
titty out for real?
Yeah, it was hot. She was
Who pulled
adjusting
the
her.
TV out?
It's Korean Twitch streamer. She was like adjusting her top, and she did that thing where she's watching herself on camera, and like when her titty pops out, she freezes, and she's just like, "My titty's out," and like for a solid 3 seconds, she's got her titty.
Did you buy it? It was all accidental?
Of course not.
I
didn't see it.
50-50.
Okay.
You can't tell.
If my penis falls out of my pants at Costco, I don't stand there for 3 seconds and go,
My titty's out.
"Oh,
yeah,
my
but
dick's
it's a
out."
different scenario, right? She's seeing it happen through the OBS or whatever the fuck she's streaming with, and like she's wearing like lingerie anyway, and she's like adjusting her titties to make them like pop.
Is
and
that
then
Twitch
one of
legal?
yeah, oh yeah. There's a
You can
lot
show
of
boobs on Twitch.
not the nipple, but everything else. Pussy's fine. But yeah, back to Bran. I liked Bran at the beginning. He was this like, everybody's talking about how good of a climber he was. Like he never felt the boy. It's true, the boy was always sure-footed. Like the boy he's climbing the walls and he's a little adventurer and he's clearly on the path to being one of these Stark men who's just uniquely smart and physically talented in his own way. And then all that's taken away, and he doesn't. I don't remember him feeling bad for himself. I don't really remember him feeling sorry for himself for more than like an episode until this child is like, well, I guess I'm crippled now, but I got this big tard to carry me around, so that's cool. And I've still got this fucking direwolf, so let's go on an adventure.
That'd be a government program I would implement if I were elected. Is every crippled person gets a big retard to carry them around. Number 1, save money on wheelchairs. Number 2, job creation.
Right.
Make it a military thing.
Taylor 2020, move over, Mayor Pete.
Yeah. Sorry, Trump, I'm stepping in. I'm running as an independent. Me and Bernie. Bernie's my vice.
I would like that. I would like to be carried around by a big slow person.
Yeah,
Just
and it
everywhere.
seems like Hodor was like he was never tired.
No, he was always ready to giddy up and go. Like he was terrified of the lightning though, which I found off-putting. You know,
it
he
didn't
was
happen that I
Well, he was
wanted to
just-
happen. Maybe
Yeah.
it did, but Bran was supposed to warg into Hodor and turn him into pretty much a gigantic, athletic Jon Snow. Right?
Yeah, he just did it the one time. You know,
Yeah,
he
there
did it
was-
the one time.
Yeah, it
broke
wasn't.
that
he did it-
guy's
yeah,
neck.
just once.
And he broke that guy's neck with his bare hands.
No,
and-
he did it twice because he warged into Hodor to get him to stop freaking out at the lightning.
Yeah, but I'm talking about warging into him and going Super Saiyan on like, a
I
bunch
want
of baddies.
him.
Mhm.
I want like I don't know, 85 whites and a pile on top of him, and then Bran wargs and he and just
You know what I would have liked? If like they're all hanging out and they're having a bit like maybe Jon Snow and like a bunch of the people.
Whites?
What do they call the
whites.
crows or whatever? What do they call themselves? The men who are like on the wall, the Night's Watch.
Yeah, the crows,
like
the Night's Watch.
like the Night's Watch, and Jon Snow's sitting there, and Bran is there like in the corner, and Hodor's sitting there diligently, and they're all talking about how we're gonna like win this upcoming battle. Like maybe it's one of those situations like in Two Towers where the enemy's smashing on the door trying to get in, and we're all just downtrodden, and they're like, we're only 8 men, and then Hodor stands up and eloquently says, at least 9. I'm going to need some armor, big armor. And he just hands over to Bran over there, all like eyes roll back in his fucking
Yes.
skull, and fucking
Somebody gonna take care of this kid? Nah, he just does that. He just
no, he's good. He's good. Don't touch him. Don't touch him. We don't want to fuck this up. And I need Hodor to like stop being like retarded Hodor and be Brandor and just be speaking eloquently and be like, I'm gonna need a big fucking shield, a big fucking sword, and I'm gonna and I just need him to. He
He goes
was bigger than the
1v1
mountain
with
I-
Yum
very
Yum.
cool.
Like he's at least like the size of the mountain. I felt like he's just gargantuan. I'm sure they said in the show like what the size
I
comparison
think the
was.
mountain was like the way they described him once in the books was like he was one of the few people that would tower over even Hodor or some shit like
Yeah,
that.
maybe-
Because Hodor was
it's-
part giant.
That was like the little myth like around why he was so big. Like I
Oh.
don't think that like
You don't think it was true?
his mom actually took giant dick
No, I don't think she
and
did.
made it half giant. Man, her pussy would have been ruined. She would have been in the wheelchair. You know?
Actually, yeah. When I think about how big Yum Yum is, it would be hard for him to fuck a regular
Yeah,
woman.
yeah. He's
And I
just
don't
gonna,
think he would.
maybe he
do
jerked
it-
off on a regular woman. Like
Yes,
Just-
yes.
And it's just like the fucking ALS ice bucket challenge.
no. It's like the end of Ghostbusters 1 when the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man explodes and just splatters onto everyone.
To Kyle's point, I think one of the reasons that Bran is a little easy to like turn against is puberty didn't treat him that well. You know,
I think
he
he's a
was a
good-looking
really
guy.
cool kid, but as a semi-adult, whatever he is, he was just
I think he's got a good look. I like those.
Yeah?
Like, he's got ridiculous cheekbones. I like the haircut's not doing him any favors. I think. I bet when he's in real life, when he's walking around wherever the fuck he's from, like I bet he's a good looking fella.
I was just gonna say maybe if I saw the actor, I'd change my mind. In the
Yeah.
show, his look has gotten worse, and I would stick to that.
Yeah,
I like
would,
Kyle your idea about how when he wargs into Hodor, he inexplicably has Jason Statham's voice.
yeah, absolutely.
That's good, and
Like-
it's
like-
Jason Statham dubbing it.
Oh, that'd be sick. Or like Pierce Brosnan, someone real posh, maybe. You know, like if that would be great. If he went from Hodor to I'm going to need some fine armor, a lovely port, and the biggest fucking horse you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like,
Suddenly he's clever, and he's like doing sudokus
He's witty.
and shit.
He's making puns. He's hitting on women, like making big dick jokes.
And it's still in his big fat retard body. Oh, see, this is the spinoff.
Like his whole posture changes, you know, like
Suddenly
I-
it's like he's even taller. Like if he didn't sit like this, it'd
yeah, all the
cower
time.
up.
Yeah,
But-
I would have dug that a lot, and I wanted that. And I don't feel like that's all that like fan pleasing nonsense, like some of the other shit we saw. But I would have dug that a lot, even if it was just for a scene or an episode or half an episode. Like, why couldn't he be part of the Battle of the Bastards, coming in and being Deus Ex Machina Hodor? Obviously, he was dead at that point in the show, but I'm just saying, in a moment like that, I'd have dug that a lot. Good show, great actors. It's going to catapult so many of these people's careers into other things. It's you want to see these people in stuff, except Sansa.